Alright, welcome back to another Jesus Freak Studio tutorial or whatever showcase. We're going to go over the part 2 of our weapon widgets. So now when you pick up a backpack, it automatically updates to your item and it goes back to when it's not there. I switch through. So let's jump into it. If you don't already have it, which you shouldn't, we need sockets on the player for our BP backpack weapon slot 1, backpack weapon slot 2. Now, if I do a part 3, we're going to add the sockets to the backpacks instead of the player, because the weapon sockets on the 1 and 2 need to be on the player because you're not gonna have a backpack. But for these two sockets, they really should be on each individual backpack, and we should get that information from the from inventory equipper instead of adding this to the player. Because if you have 6 different backpacks, you don't want them all to be the same exact spot, or have 9 different sockets. So the first place we're going to need to go is the inventory equipper. We're going to create 2 functions. So if we go to on backpack change, so this is going to be every time we pick up a backpack or every time we drop a backpack. So we're going to get our equipped items, which is BP items that are added to this array every time we pick up an item, and it's removed every time we drop it. So we're going to do a for loop on here. This is going to be added only for weapon items. So that's what this is. We're going to add it only if it's like a human weapon or a flashlight, whatever can be held in your hand. So if it's holdable. Also, in our defaults, we're going to change the is key binded. We're going to change that is to main weapons, because if you have, say, a pistol that's on your hip, it will not be affected by a backpack. So on the item defaults, we just changed it right here, is main weapons. And that would be for a rifle or a melee bat or whatever. So we'll hide the disconnected. And then we'll add it to this temporary weapon array, which is a local variable. And this set is a local variable also. You could skip this local temp weapon and just drag this array element directly into the add. I like setting local variables. And then when we're completed, we want to call our weapon slots. So you could do this the way that I did it. Either way, I created a function and I called it from an event. You could just create an event. So we're going to go into here. And this just basically, the whole reason why we need it is because we need a delay. We need to wait until the backpack is on the player and it's working, and then we get our updated weapons. So if you just want to create this function in this event with delay, you can do that. So in this function for updated weapon sockets, we're going to pass the array for the equipped weapons that are of type weapon or flashlight or whatever we want. We're going to pass them through to attach item on owner, but we need to save a temporary file only if it is currently held. So if it's currently held, once everything has been added to our player, then we want to make sure that this is valid, and then we want to attach to the player's hand. You can probably skip this as valid because we're already calling it as valid right there. One thing you will need to know is this get item container key macro. Basically, it's instead of 7 different nodes, I just put it into a macro, so we'll open that up. So this, we're getting our item, BP item base. We're getting the item info, break it for the item address, getting the slot address, we're splitting that for our container UID. We're getting the container based off the UID, and then we're getting the key that's assigned to that. So if you don't know what this key is, essentially if we go into our UI widgets, inventory menu, and then our inventory items. So this weapon 1, 2, it's in the slot settings. This slot key, this one is 2, this one is 1. So this slot key, whatever is assigned to it, not what we hit last, whatever is assigned to the container is the key that we're getting. And that's where we plug in the get to for this attach item to owner, attach item to owner. And where you would want the delay would be would probably be right here. Delay until next tick would either go right here or completed. It probably would need to be at least at the beginning, so all the items will get adjusted with the backpack. So once we have completed this for our on backpack change, we're going to have to basically add this function in 2 different places. So for quick referencing, I'll look to where this is. So in the set item on container, at the end of this list, once we've added everything, all of our logic, the last thing we want to do is if we want to get if this item that we just added is a backpack. We'll make that an exact match. So if it is an exact match, we'll call this on backpack change. Now we also want to do this when we drop it. So in our drop item from address in the inventory equipper, once we have removed the item from our equipped item array, we'll go ahead and call this on backpack change. Now we could probably add it down here as the last thing that we do, but this is where I put it and I haven't had any issues yet. This is replicated too, so everything that's already in this logic is not changing. We're just recalling nodes that are already in it, so I haven't seen any issues with replicating it. This is everything that we need to have. Oh, I lied about that. We did change the inventory equipper get weapon socket. So now that we have backpack sockets, and this will probably change in the next video because I will need to get the sockets per backpack. So what currently you probably see is this down here plus this. So we need to basically duplicate these 3, put BP weapon for our backpack weapon socket, and then we need to get the container by type, backpack, break it. If our backpack container, which is, I don't have the inventory widget. So if this widget has a backpack item on it, this item's length for that container will be greater than 1. So if that's true, then we'll call the backpack weapon socket. If it's less than 1 or 0, then we'll call a regular weapon socket, because that will mean that you don't have a backpack on. And that's all you will need to do for this to work. So now we add the items, the inventory works like it should. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if I can get to it quickly enough, I'll try to do another video trying to add the sockets to the backpacks themselves. If you have any comments, questions, or things that you want me to work on inside this inventory system, please let it know in the comment section, and I'll try to get to it as fast as I can. Thanks for watching.